Welcome to Nepo Press. I'm Frank Sargent. We're going to format a manuscript to turn it into an ebook, as a Mobi file for reading on an Amazon Kindle, to turn it into an EPUB 3 file for reading on a Nook, and also we'll create a camera-ready PDF suitable for uploading to CreateSpace to publish as a paperback book. Best place to get started is to go to nepotism.net/formatting. When you get there, the first thing to read is this quick introduction. I already have it open here, and we'll take a look at some of these points. We offer high-quality formatting at a low cost. We can do this because of two things: computer automation and explicit markup. The ebook formats you can produce are Mobi to sell through Amazon, EPUB 3 to sell through Barnes & Noble, Apple, Kobo, etc. It also makes an HTML version, which is handy for quick proofreading. It also makes the camera-ready PDF that you can publish as a paperback book through CreateSpace and sell directly from CreateSpace, and also sell through Amazon. Here are our current prices. Speed, the turnaround time, because we have this automated, is typically less than 1 minute per format. It's high quality. The ebooks have everything you want in an ebook. It has both a visible and a logical table of contents. The logical table of contents is what lets you right-click, click the arrow key on a Kindle keyboard, for example, or a Kindle 3. Right-click to go to the next chapter, left-click to go back to the previous chapter. The visible table of contents is, of course, the one you can look at and click on and go directly to a particular chapter. The quotes curl in the right direction. You can set up internal and external links to websites or to other parts of your book. The chapters start on a new page rather than in the middle of a page. In other words, it looks like a standard, professionally formatted ebook. The camera-ready PDF has all the above, except, of course, for the things that don't apply to a printed book. You can't really click on a link inside the paperback. As part of creating the EPUB version, we run EPUB check automatically so that you can know that your manuscript passes the EPUB validation tests. This makes it easy to get your book accepted on the first try when you upload to Apple or Barnes & Noble or Kobo. It's easy to use. You have a single manuscript that produces all four of the above formats. You can maintain it in your favorite word processor. If you prefer a text editor, you can use a text editor. Simple explicit markup is the key. You can learn the basics in 2 minutes. You start with a template. We provide a template as a doc file or as an ODT file if you're using Word, Microsoft Word, or LibreOffice, or some similar word processor. We also have a template for Scrivener if you prefer the Scrivener word processor. For new books, the way to start is to download the template and just start writing. And that's what we're going to do. We'll make a separate video to show what you do if you have an existing book that you'd like to format. I would like to mention one more thing. Do you ever get all your typos out the first time? Do you ever wish that you could update your list of books by this author when you write a new book? You'd like to go to a previously published ebook and add the new book to that list? Do you ever want to make changes? With our service, you get unlimited revisions. No extra charge for a full year. That's why we offer it for a full year. You're likely to want changes. It also encourages you to start formatting early. You don't have to wait until your book is finished before you start to see what it will look like on a Kindle or as a PDF. This can be very handy for sending to beta readers, for downloading it to your own Kindle so you can sit in a comfortable chair as you do some of your proofreading. So it's very handy to be able to revise your book multiple times. How many times? Well, it depends on your stamina. You can revise it 10 times a day as far as we're concerned, maybe even more. So, format early and often is our motto. Let's start. We're going to write a new book. So we're going to, first of all, go to the Nepo Press site, nepotism.net/formatting. Go to this page and take a link to the documentation page. Near the bottom of this page are the templates. Template for Word, LibreOffice, OpenOffice, you can use a doc file. For LibreOffice or OpenOffice or similar, you can use an ODT file. Doesn't make any difference. We're going to use the doc file. And I've already downloaded this. Now, your ebook's going to want a cover. If your cover isn't ready, use any image for a cover. For example, we make available an ugly placeholder cover that you can download so that your ebook can have a cover from the very beginning. Of course, before you publish, you're going to replace it with your real cover. I've already downloaded that. Here's the file browser. I'm running this on a Mac, so this is Finder. I've downloaded the template, and I've downloaded the cover image. So we'll start this by running LibreOffice. Open LibreOffice, and we're starting with the template, so we're going to open the template here, open file. Nepo Press template.doc is the one we want. The first thing we're going to do is to save this as the name of the book we're going to write. Tonight's book will be a romantic novel, Roman Seduction. So we'll save it, File, Save As, and give it a new name. We're going to give it the name Roman.doc. We'll just leave it as a Microsoft.doc file. Now you see up here it has the new title, Roman.doc. Then set the text whatever size is convenient for you to read. I'm going to expand it a bit here to make it easier to see. How's that? Okay. This template is fairly verbose because it has lots of comments. These lines that start with a pound sign are comments. They're just to help you get oriented the first time or two. After that, you can just delete all these comments. Let's take a quick run through this template just to see what we have. First, we have a title page. The title of this book will be, well, let's don't call it My Romantic Thriller. That's just a placeholder. You're going to replace that with your real title. So let's change that. Now, notice that I'm leaving the quotation marks. Don't remove the quotation marks. Roman Seduction will be our title. There are a few tags that I'll point out. We're going to use the author name Bic Featherquill. You'd replace that with your pen name or your author name. Just delete that and put your name right there. Now let's take a quick look. There are very few tags that you have to use, and these aren't even essential, but I wanted to show you. You can put certain things in an ebook that will not appear in the PDF, and you can put certain things in a PDF that will not appear in the ebook if you would like to have them be slightly different. We have an Only eBooks tag so that this title page is the version that's going to appear in the ebooks, that is in the Mobi file and in the EPUB file. It will not appear in the PDF file. Then we're setting the alignment to center. Now the comments will be ignored. They will not appear in the book. But the title is going to be centered. This asterisk marks this as a chapter. The title page will look like a chapter. Everything, a title page, the introduction, the copyright page, and about the author page, all these are treated as if they were chapters. So we mark all chapters with a beginning asterisk followed by a space. Now we put the title of the chapter here and within the quotation marks. Usually you don't have to use the quotation marks for a title. We're doing that because we want the page to have this at the top of it. But we do not want it listed in the table of contents. So we put an empty second title right there to say don't list it. Then we have, this is a level 1 heading, a chapter. A level 3 heading, and this is a blank level 3 heading, would be a subheading. We're using this strictly to make this a little prettier. Give it a little extra vertical spacing right there. We had a line center, so this will be centered. The author's name will be centered. And now we're going to turn off the centering. We go back to align default. And that's it. That's the title page. And we only want it to appear in the ebooks because the PDF will make a title page automatically. So then we have the ending tag. Note the slash mark, only ebooks. Remember, this is already built into your template. You don't have to do anything except you go down to the title, put your title in, go down to the author's name, put your author name in. That takes care of it. The next thing to look at, we have a copyright page. Again, some comments that after you get used to this, you'll just delete these. We have an empty level 1 heading. This forces it to start on a new page. So it will start right after the title page. Again, we want to align it so things are centered. Now, this is your choice. If you don't want them centered, don't put in the align center tags. Another level 3 heading to give us a little spacing. Suit yourself, add another one if you like, or take this one out. Copyright, and we use a copy tag to put in the copyright symbol. When this is formatted as an ebook, that tag will turn into the regular copyright symbol. You could also have inserted that in your word processor. It doesn't make any difference. Copyright such and such a date, Bic Feather Quill. Again, you'd replace that with your author name or pen name. Change your copyright statement however you wish. Some boilerplate here that you can use. We're through with the centering, and actually you might prefer this not to be centered, in which case you'd move this align default tag up here perhaps. Move it from here up to perhaps right there. Then if you have a publisher, if you're listing a publisher in your book, you could put in this example, it's a level 4 tag, makes it just a little bit bolder than plain text, and take out the pound sign and the space if you want to have a published by tag here, published by line. Right now it's commented out, so it will not appear in the book. Also, you might want to list a web address for the author or for the publisher, in which case you just write it out. You don't have to do any special marking, just http:// whatever. Again, this will not appear in the book because it's commented out. Then the next thing is the table of contents. You don't have to create the table of contents. It'll be created for you automatically. It will go wherever this contents tag appears. Now, there's some other settings that you can use, and they're filled in automatically here for you. You have a cover tag where you get to specify the cover image. If you wanted to specify a publisher, you'd specify it here. You just uncomment that line by removing the pound sign. You have a choice of whether to use drop caps or not. By default, drop caps will be on. I'll show you those in a minute. If you don't want those to be on, just edit that, change it to off. But for now, we'll leave it on. Now we have the tags that set your PDF settings. These do not have to be in this document because these are the defaults. but I list them here specifically to make it easy for you to change it. When you publish a PDF through CreateSpace, you have to choose a trim size. This is the width and height of your finished book. 5 1/4 by 8 inches is a typical trim size. 6 by 9 inches is a typical trim size. You can use just whatever width and height you want, so just edit those. These are in inches. Then you set your inner margins, again in inches, and your outer margins. If you'd like a wider margin, you'd enlarge this number. I wouldn't decrease them any. Then you can set the top and bottom margins as well. Then you can set the font. For now, Libertine is the only font available. We may make other fonts available eventually. This is a Times Roman-like font. It looks very good. Then we use a start tag. Some e-readers respect the start tag, and when the reader first opens the book, it will go to wherever you've put the start tag. So for this example, that's a reasonable place to put it. If you want to start somewhere else, just comment this out and write a start tag just before whatever chapter, introduction or whatever where you want it to start. Finally, we have a main matter tag. This is used only by the PDF, and it determines where the Arabic numerals will begin. The page numbers will start here. In other words, we will number the introduction as page 1. So the template up to this point, really all you have to put in is you have to edit your book's title and you have to put in your author name. And that's it. The rest of this will work just fine as a default. And I suggest, I actually made a mistake here. I changed the title to Roman Seduction. Well, that's correct. That's the title. We'd have to do that eventually. But I was going to suggest that your very first time of formatting an ebook, don't change anything. Just simply format this template as if it were your book. Take a look at it and see what you get. But anyway, so I've already made that change, so I'm going to leave it in. That takes care of your front matter. Again, the table of contents will be created automatically. You don't have to do anything special to get a table of contents. And here we are, ready to begin the book. So, again, this is a template. Obviously, if you don't want an introduction, just highlight that and delete it. If you have an introduction, delete that and type what you want. Then comes chapter 1. Name it whatever you want. Doesn't have to be called chapter 1, of course. It was a dark and stormy night. Now, that's too short to make a decent example for chapter 1. So I have pre-filled this with lots of paragraphs of fake text, fake Latin, called ipsum, lorem ipsum. So anyway, we have a number of paragraphs worth of fake Latin just to give us something to format. You'd, of course, delete that and put in your real chapter 1. Here we have a scene break. A scene break is marked by a tag, a scene tag. And now we have a new scene. The moon was shining bright, and again, a lot of fake text. And then we start chapter 2. The story continues here. Now, no more fake text. You'll just carry on. And when you're ready for another chapter, and again, my recommendation is the very first time, don't change this at all. Just simply format it as it comes. But here's how you would when you're ready to add a chapter 3. Hit the carriage return twice, an asterisk and a space to mark a new chapter, and type in your chapter title. Perhaps this chapter would be 3. And so on, chapter after chapter. When you start writing it, leave a blank line between the chapter title and your first paragraph. This is a paragraph, and I think I probably ought to capitalize that. And let's say that's the the end of the paragraph. It might go on line after line, but when you finish the paragraph, hit the carriage return twice, so you leave a blank between paragraphs. Finally, you'll finish your book, and you'll have end matter. You can have various end matter. You don't have to have an about the author page, but this is what this is setting up. Write whatever you like here. Biff Featherquill began his writing, and so on. If you want to put in an author image, it's as simple as using an image tag and giving the name of the image file. This is commented out, so there will be no image in this, but this is just to show you how and where you could set that up. The first try, don't make any changes, just format this. But I've made some changes. Let's go ahead and save those. File, save. The next step is to save this out as a text file. This is LibreOffice, a fairly new version of LibreOffice that has under the File menu, Save a Copy. So that's what we're going to use. If you're using an older version of LibreOffice or another word processor that doesn't have a Save as a Copy, you may use the Save As to do essentially the same thing. Save a copy. I've already set up a Roman directory. Remember, the name of this book is going to be Roman Seduction. We're going to save a copy as a text file. So don't save it as a doc file. I click here and I go down to text. That's the one we want to save it as in LibreOffice. In another word processor, it'll be text or plain text or something similar. If you're given a choice when you save it, you will save it as a UTF-8 file. That's the default for LibreOffice, so we don't have to worry about that. So, Roman.txt, saving it into our correct directory. Click the Save button. Now we're ready. We'll take a look at our file browser. We have our manuscript and we have our text file version. It's time to go to Nepo Press and log in. I'm running Firefox for this. And here's the Nepo Press login page. When you set up an account, we'll give you the login information. You'll log in. And I've already logged in. That takes us over here. We're going to make this bigger. This is actually the book page. When you first log in, you'll first go to the author page. The author page will list all of your books. When you start out, you'll probably just have one in the list like we do here. So to pick the book you want to work on, just click on its nickname. Now before we do, notice the file name that we're going to upload is Roman.txt. That's why we saved it as Roman.txt. You have to match the name you save it as from your word processor with the name that this expects. Title will be Roman Seduction. We've set the author up as Biff Featherquill. So we just click on the nickname and we go to the book page. And again, it repeats that information. What we want to do is click this Mobi button to create an ebook. However, no files have been uploaded. Even if we click refresh the file list, there's still no files uploaded. So first of all, let's click the browse button. We go to the correct directory. This is our manuscript that we're going to upload, Roman.txt. Choose it. Click Upload. The file Roman.txt was uploaded successfully. Good. So click here to return to the book page. Now the file list has one file in it. While we're at it, we used a cover tag in the manuscript to say our cover file was named cover.jpg. Well, there is no cover.jpg in our list of files. However, let's go ahead and upload that cover image. Placeholder cover.jpg. If you had a real cover image, you'd upload it, but we're going to start with this one. Again, click Upload. The file placeholder cover.jpg was uploaded successfully. We go back to the book page, and now we have the cover image. So we're ready. Let's click the Mobi button and see what we get. We click it, a little information about when we started, and we return to the book page. That's how long it took. Actually, it didn't take quite that long. Of course, we had a very, very short book because we just formatted the template. It might take several seconds when you format your full novel. There's a Roman.mobi file. Now that's encouraging, but that's really not the first thing to look at. First thing to check is the report. There's a Mobi report.txt we click on to see if there are any errors or warnings. It says when we started, 11:57 and 52 seconds. We finished at 11:57 and 52 seconds. There is a warning. Warning, cover file, cover.jpg, does not exist. In spite of that, nevertheless, it did create a Mobi file successfully. A Mobi file that you can download to your PC and view in a Kindle for PC or Kindle for Mac application. Download to your phone and view in a Kindle app, or download to an actual Kindle and look at it. So let's go back to our book page. In addition to making the Mobi file, it also makes an HTML version that you can look at right here in the web browser. We'll just right-click on that and choose Open in New Tab. And it opens the book right here. This lets you take a quick look to get a rough idea of how your formatting went. And notice that it has made our title page with our author name, our copyright page with our copyright information, table of contents, the introduction, the chapter 1, and so on. Now, we had a setting that would have let us turn off drop caps, but we left it on. The drop cap is not really dropped. It's a fake drop cap. It's just a larger initial letter for the first character of the chapter. And this follows the standard convention in fiction of no first paragraph indentation in a chapter or after a break. The subsequent paragraphs do begin with indentation. So here's our chapter 1 with the fake Latin. Here's our scene break, a little space. If you want an asterisk or a pound sign, that's easy to put in. I'll show that in a minute. Chapter 2, Chapter 3, about the author. And there you have it. The template, basically, except we edited a little bit. Like I say, you can start this without editing a thing, and you still get an ebook out of it. Okay, let's go back to our word processor. So we'll go to our cover tag, and we'll change it from cover.jpg to placeholder cover.jpg. Now, just for fun, let's also add another image. That's the only image I have handy in that directory, so we'll use it a second time at the end of the book. We'll go ahead and pretend this is a picture of the author. Instead of author.jpg, we'll simply use that. Remember, we have to uncomment this image tag, so I delete the pound sign so that the image tag begins at the left margin. I also mentioned that for the scene break, what if you wanted an asterisk or a pound sign or something? Let's give this an asterisk. Of course, you want it centered, but you don't have to do anything. That'll be centered automatically. All right, that's enough. Let's save it. File, save. That saves our doc file version of it. Now we export it. File, save a copy as plain text. Looks good. It's going in the right directory. Click the Save button. It already exists. Do we want to replace it? Yes. Click Replace. We go back to the book page. We're going to upload the new version of the manuscript. We click Browse. We find Roman.txt. Select it. Click the Upload button. Doesn't take long because it's very short. Go back to the book page. Click the Mobi button again. Check the Mobi report first. Notice we no longer have the warning about the missing cover image. And again, Mobi file created successfully. We like to see that. We'll go back. Let's take a look at the HTML. I could right-click like we did before and open in a new tab, but I already have it open in a new tab. It's just the previous version. So I can right-click and choose Reload. The HTML version will not show the cover. The ebooks will show the cover. However, we went to About the Author. We added an image, and there's our, it's actually our placeholder cover masquerading as the author's photograph. Let's check that scene tag. We added, there we go. There's the scene break with the asterisk that we specified. Well, that's basically how you create an ebook. It's that simple and pretty much that fast. For a large book, it would take a few seconds. Typically, you'll create the ebook in well under a minute. Well, while we're at it, let's make an EPUB file out of it. Click on EPUB, go back, and it had already made the EPUB file, but it had not yet made the EPUB report file. It's there now, and you'll see it when I click Refresh the file list. It took longer to create the EPUB because it does one more thing when it creates an EPUB. It runs the EPUB check program. So let's refresh the file list and see if the EPUB report's there yet. Okay, we have an EPUB report. Click on it. Starting time 12:05 and 16 seconds, finished 12:05 and 19 seconds, so it took us 3 seconds. No errors mentioned, and here it's running the EPUB check, validating against EPUB version 3.0. No errors or warnings detected. This is good news. It means it passes the validation checks. So we can go back there. You can now download your Mobi file to your computer. You can download the EPUB file to your computer. You'd ordinarily just click on the HTML and view it right there, but you could download it. Now let's make a PDF. Notice these two buttons. There's a Final button and a Proof button. The Final makes the PDF in the trim size that you asked for. In this case, the default is 5 1/4 inches by 8 inches, and that's the PDF file that will be produced. Well, that may be an awkward size to print on your computer at home. So you can also make a proof version. The pages, the book image pages will be the same size. The images will be the same size, but they will be in a frame centered in an 8 1/2 inch by 11 sheet of paper to make it easy to print on a home printer. Well, we'll just go ahead and we'll leave it in the Final format. Click the PDF button, and we return to the book page, and it's there already, Roman.pdf, and we have the PDF report. Let's check the report and see if there are any errors. No errors, PDF file created successfully. Okay. Now, the way the PDF works is it has to make a first pass through the whole thing to find out where the page numbers are for the different chapters. So we have to format it one more time, because then it will use the page numbers it gathered on the previous pass to plug in the page numbers in the table of contents. So we'll click on PDF a second time. And we'll return, and we could check this again, but I bet there are no errors this time either. Okay. And then let's open it. You can download this PDF file to your computer and view it on your computer, and that's the best way to do it. We'll take a quick look here in the web browser. But the web browser, at least on this web browser, is not set up to show two pages side by side. Open link in new tab. Here's the PDF. So it's not going to show two pages, but this is designed to be printed as a book, two-sided. There's the title page that's created automatically. There's the copyright page, the contents page, a blank page because chapters start on an odd-numbered page. So here's the first chapter, the introduction, and it's page number 1. And we should see, there we go, page number 1, because that's where we put the main matter tag and said this is where we want to start numbering. Then that's a very short chapter. So the back of it's going to be blank so that the next chapter can start on an odd-numbered or right-hand side page. Here's chapter 1. It's page 3, and this continues. Notice the drop caps, the proper indentation, the conventional indentation, the nicely lined up left and right margins. After the first page, the opening chapter page, page numbers down here. After that, you have the page numbers at the top with running heads. And we continue to the end, and we should see an image right there on the page. Of course, when you print this through CreateSpace, you'll typically print a novel in black and white or grayscale. So this would not show up in color, typically, although CreateSpace will let you print books with interior color. So there you have it. I think we've covered how you make an ebook from scratch. Then you'd edit your novel manuscript further, upload it from time to time, reformat it, download it, proofread it, proofread it in the web browser, copy it to your Kindle and proofread it on the Kindle. Format as often as you like. Format early and often. That way there's no last-minute rush, no last-minute worries. When you're ready to publish, your book's going to look good. Let's look at a longer book, though. Tree People, published by Rebecca Radley, written by Rebecca Radley, one of the Nepo Press authors, has recently been published as a paperback. And so it's available both as a Mobi file for Kindle and available as a paperback. Let's take a look at it. This is Kindle for Mac, the Kindle reader that you can use on your Mac. If you don't have a Kindle, you can read it right on the Mac. And the PC has a similar application, Kindle for PC. Here's the book already opened in the reader. Page through this just a little bit so you get a feel for how it can look. And Rebecca wanted some images, and you've seen how to set an image up. You just put in an image tag and the name of the file. Let's go to the end of this book and we'll see some of the images she put in. To advertise her additional books or other books, she has a short section about Vienna bonbons, a cover image. And we'll go back. Her other book, America's Junior Miss, cover image, and a little description about the book and a link to Amazon on it. And here's a picture of the author on the About the Author page. But there you have the Kindle file, the Mobi file. Let's take a look at the PDF of this same book. This is why it's good to download the file to your computer so you can view it side by side. This is the first page. First page is an odd-numbered page, the right-hand page of a book. So we only see the one book here, but I went to View, and I clicked 2 pages, so it'll show 2 pages side by side. So we'll go down a page. Here's the copyright page, which will be on the back side of the title page. It continues here. Page down, there is the table of contents, and it extends there onto a second page. Then a dedication page, acknowledgments page, a quotation, the prologue, chapter 1, and so on. Very nicely lined up margins. It looks like a real printed book. It is a real printed book. It's the camera-ready PDF that we submitted to CreateSpace. It was accepted by CreateSpace, so it passed their review process with no trouble at all. I'll just step through it quickly. That's the final PDF. When we formatted this, remember we had the final button and we had a proof button. So let's take a look at the proof version of it. The proof version uses the same size. This is set to 5 1/4 by 8, except it puts it in a frame and sets it up for an 8 1/2 by 11 inch sheet of paper to make it easy to print on your printer. And this is the proof version. Our Nepo Press summary. Why Nepo Press? Because of the simple formatting, the explicit formatting, no wondering what hidden settings your word processor is using, combined with our computer automation, we're able to give you very fast turnaround. No need to request a reservation from your ebook formatter. No need to rush to meet the exact deadline you have to send it to him. Format at your convenience in the middle of the afternoon or the middle of the night. It doesn't make any difference. Very fast turnaround, almost always in less than a minute per format, 3, 4, 5 seconds. Of course, it takes you a few seconds to upload your file, a few seconds to download it. Format early and often. When you need to make revisions, go back in, make the changes, re-upload, just click the buttons, download, you're done. Amazon lets you republish anytime you wish. Typically the other booksellers do as well. So we'd like to invite you to use our book formatting service. How much does it cost? Well, let's see if we can find the price list here. As you can see, we're happy to offer a trial account so you can try it out and see and get hands-on experience with it. When you're ready to publish your book for real, go ahead and sign up for a full book account. There was virtually nothing to do when you're starting a novel from scratch. You just open the template, rename it to the name of your book, and start typing. If you already have a large novel, you do have to go through a manuscript preparation step where you put in those marks. This can take 15 minutes to an hour or maybe even more. It depends on how many chapters you have, because you have to mark each chapter. It depends on how many words you have in italics or bold, because you have to mark them. There may be other things to consider if you have any links or something of that sort. So 15 minutes to an hour, maybe more. If you don't want to do that, we offer that as a service. Those prices are subject to change without notice. Once you have an account, though, of course, we don't change the account. It's good for the term of the account. Well, thank you for watching.